welcome back to theGrio. We have a special guest tonight, somebody who is using cooking to make a difference in the community. Aisha Haire runs Haire Gulf Shrimp in Chicago, Illinois, and it has been around for about 20 years. She used to run the PR for the restaurant, but now she's running the whole thing. She took over the family business when her husband tragically passed away in 2021 from COVID. Haire's Gulf Shrimp gives back to the community by hiring students, single mothers who are heads of households, and formerly incarcerated people. Aisha Haire, we love you. Welcome to theGrio. Thank you so much for the work you're doing.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Let's start with your roots. You've been in the restaurant business since you were 14. Now you're running a restaurant that's getting national spotlight. Talk to me about that journey.
Well, like I said, I was 14. My first job was at Taste of Chicago for Etna Soul Food. She's no longer here. She was an African-American woman on the west side of Chicago. She and my mother just used to do what they would call now like a walking club. And that was my first summer job, like I said, at Taste before my freshman year of high school. And that's where I got a strong work ethic. And I never knew the advice, the pearls of wisdom she was pouring into me that I would need to know them now. And she always told me the heart of your restaurant is that grill, or in my case, the fryer. If you can't turn that on, you won't know how to run anything.
Well, you have followed those words, been inspired by those words, and you have built something special. And you've always been integral to the restaurant, but, you know, you had a different role before. I mean, you got quoted as saying you went from secretary to president overnight. What was that like?
And it was during COVID, so a lot of things were shifting. So, like I said, I had started off with getting the restaurant and the Taste of Chicago pre-COVID, and the Festival of the Arts, and just I knew this is a great product. My mother-in-law would have been 104, the same age as Billie Holiday, so we call it the Gulf Shrimp because the shrimp are freshwater shrimp from the Gulf, and it's her Texas, Louisiana roots recipe. So it's a light marinade battered shrimp. And then from, like I said, during COVID, he had got sick and in the hospital, and I just knew he was coming home. But I guess if he couldn't come in that restaurant every day, he just transitioned. And so I knew he always used to say, you're going to keep the legacy going, make that promise to me. And I made a promise to God and my family that, yes, I will. And so literally January 21st, the day I said that changed my life, and of 2021. And I'm proud to say we're still sustaining 2 years later.
You're doing more than sustaining. You are thriving. The Shrimp Shack ain't no hole in the wall. You've been in Teen Vogue, New York Times, Food Network. Chance the Rapper had his magnificent, Coloring Day Festival. I mean, you've been featured there. I mean, you are Black History right now. Talk to me about what happened there.
Well, yes, the Chance the Rapper, and I call it, he's been, if I must quote our former First Lady, Michelle Obama, has been coming to the restaurant since he was a baby rapper. And I was very proud that he chose us, a Southside restaurant, Grassroots, to shoot his Teen Vogue cover shoot about 2018. And he had the editor at the time. People came over all the way from London. Elaine Welterworth, who's now I know on a national talk show, she came, and it was just Mr. Haire was very proud. I was just telling somebody about that. I had relatives wanting to show up for work that day who never even worked at the restaurant, but it was a beautiful experience. And we that just shut down the 79th Street, the south side of Chicago, so the Teen Vogue could do a national cover shoot. It was phenomenal, and he wanted his favorite shrimp. He was offered saying, oh, we could bring the shrimp downtown to a hotel. He said, no, I want Teen Vogue to get the feel of Chicago, and they did that day.
Wow. Well, you got something special going on. I got to ask you, not about the shrimp, because I know you're going to give me your secrets on that, but what's the secret sauce to your business model? You remain viable in a post-pandemic world. It's hard out there. How'd you do it?
Well, like I said, I'm glad we were already on Uber Eats and the delivery apps before the pandemic, so it made it easier to shift. And even though we had to shut down these people to sit down and eat, so it did kind of affect our business, but people understood, and they were happy to get their shrimp carried out, long as we maintain the consistency and the taste. And that's where I'm about. That's why it's still a family ran business. Maybe one day we will franchise locally or Midwest, but we pride ourselves on we're hand cut, freshly deveined daily shrimp. fresh,
Ooh,
never
I
frozen.
love
That was Mr. Cookie.
fresh, Devane. You speaking my language. I recently applied to a cohort program with Feed the Soul Foundation, the nonprofit arm of Black Restaurant Week. Now, the program would give you $10,000 and it would give you 6 months of free business development services. Of course, we wish you the best of luck with that. How could your restaurant use that extra help?
Oh, we could definitely use the extra help because the space that I am renting from has just made me an offer this past week that the owner of the building is now the husband and wife team are getting older and they have offered me a first option to buy. So that's where
Mm.
my goal is now, so I can own my storefront.
So that money will help you own your own building, which is a key part of having a
And
successful business.
yes, and to keep us
That
on the south
is
side of Chicago and not having to
mm,
move.
that makes complete sense. Well, look, Miss Hare, let me be the first to congratulate you on behalf of theGrio because you are moving forward with the Feed the Soul Foundation's 2023 cohort. You are getting the $10,000 stipend. You getting the business development services for 6 months. You got that consultant. You win. How you feeling?
I'm overwhelmed. Are you? That is, oh my goodness. Thank you. Thank you. I want to thank my team who, when I tell them sometime get out the way because I'm doing paperwork and I can't always be in the kitchen like now, I would love to, so thank you. Thank you so much. And I'm looking forward to the cohort. It was a lot of time and paperwork and persistence, but I see it paid off. Thank you.
Well, it was all worth it. We're so proud of you. We're so happy for the work you do in our community. And I'm just so grateful to watch somebody who deserves it, one of the real good people, just win. And we're going to keep watching you win, keep watching you shine, Aisha. Thank you so much for joining us on the show tonight. Anybody watching the show, when you're in Chicago, you make sure you go to Hair Gulf Strip. You need to do that. And family, the Independent Restaurant Coalition says 500,000 restaurants face uncertain futures from lost revenue and debt during the pandemic. And more than 1 million minority-owned businesses have an even harder time getting financial help staying afloat. Aisha is one of many black-owned businesses in the country that Feed the Soul Foundation will be helping. The full list of cohorts comes out next month. And if you want more information about Feed the Soul Foundation, visit feedthesoulfou.org.